Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Microsoft Partner Innovation Vodcast. Joining me as my co-host today, we have Shelly Branston, Global Vice President of Consumer Goods and Retail Industries, to dive into the future of retail and what that means for the shopper journey, along with Steve Carlin, CEO of AiFi, a San Francisco-based ISV focused on store innovation and taking the friction out of retail. Welcome.
Thanks. Great to be here with you.
Great to be here, Jennifer. Thanks so much for having us.
Absolutely. Excited to have you both on and to dive into the very first question. Shelly, this one's for you. If you could share with folks why they should partner with Microsoft in retail, what is the partner opportunity here?
Love it. Like cut right to the chase. So really 5 things to think about in the partner opportunity. First is the unprecedented scale of Microsoft, right? We have solutions in 41 countries, modern work and productivity, industry clouds, developer tools, and more. And really, there's no other vendor that can bring so many assets to market at that scale. Number 2 is the trusted relationships that we have with our customers, right? In the retail space, from Walgreens to Walmart to REI to Marks and Spencer and so many more. Really, there are retailers all over the world that are partnering with Microsoft. The third is the technical expertise that we bring to bear. You're not ever in this alone. We bring our best and brightest technical leaders day to day with our partners and, of course, our customers. The fourth is around distribution and really the channels. 35,000 sellers who are out there and incented for our partners to sell their solutions. So they get that sort of scale of solutions in the channels. Fifth, which I think increasingly today is so important to customers I talk to, which is business model alignment, or really our partner's success is our success. When our partners are successful and customers are buying their solutions on the Microsoft cloud, Microsoft is doing well, the customer is doing well, and the partner is really growing their business. So that co-sell revenue, we've always been a partner business, we'll always be a partner business, and that business model alignment really matters today.
All the things that you point out make for a force multipliers for us. So the smart store analytics that we work with you all on is really category management on steroids. Your sales team and their trusted relationships, the credibility that they bring when they bring us to our clients is obviously massively important. And then just the desire and willingness of your engineering teams to want to sit down with our engineering teams and create a better product together. It's a different sort of play than most people in the marketplace. And it's why we're just so grateful to be a partner of Microsoft's.
I just love this idea of a force multiplier. Tell us, I think so many partners and ISVs who come to us, like the biggest pressure is how they scale. So maybe you could talk a little bit, you talked about smart store analytics, but go a little deeper in terms of how you've been able to get scale by partnering with Microsoft.
Sure. I think it's not only what we currently have, but what we're building together and how that really changes the dynamics in our clients, our joint clients. So a perfect example would be Żabka, one of the largest convenience retailers in Europe. We partner with them. You partner with us. Now the three of us are partnered. And the Smart Store Analytics platform has really allowed them to unlock a true understanding of what's happening in their stores, not only from typical POS bits that we can get into later, but also in understanding what their shoppers want. That has allowed them to grow with confidence and really go place us in more than 60 different locations around Poland because they understand that what we're bringing is what their shopper wants, and they get that through the analytics that you all help provide.
Excellent. Really great perspective there, Steve. And kind of taking a step back, if we could, would love to hear from you both on, how does this solve for today's biggest challenges that you're seeing within the retail space?
There's no shortage of challenges in the retail space. It's an amazing business. I've always loved it, but it is certainly one of those, it's a vertical where, you're both looking for innovation, like what AiFi offers, but also retailers are trying to sort through how to future-proof their businesses and really effectively build resiliency into their business model with enabling technologies like the cloud. So top of mind in terms of that is, the hybrid work, the future of the store, the supply chain, or as it was renamed in many industries, the supply pain, sustainability, or simply just better understanding your shopper, your consumer. And that's top of mind for most retailers I meet with. It's not something they're going to be able to do alone.
What the retailers are trying to do strategically is create ecosystems around their shoppers. And sometimes that's called omni-channel. But the point is they want to be anywhere where a shopper is interested in purchasing at that moment in time. That could be e-commerce like, it could be bricks and mortar. And so consequently, in order to really create that ecosystem, the pace of technology adoption is really increasing. And so solutions like AiFi's, solutions like Smart Store Analytics allow them to strengthen that ecosystem strategy by creating value. And that value is in understanding what the shopper wants, when they want it, where they want it. And so I just see some of the biggest issues in retail are being solved now by technology in a way that they never have been.
And really seeing the evolution of these solutions over time. Shelley, if you could paint us a picture of what the future of retail looks like, where do you see the industry going in the next year or even in the next 5 to 10 years?
Wow. Okay. Well, first off, Jen, I don't have a crystal ball. I wish I did. So I don't know what the futures look like, but I know there are some key themes that we're going to continue to see really emerge as we think about what the store of the future will look like, what the customer experience of the future will look like. I'd say the first thing is, stores are changing. There was a long narrative in the retail industry that, the retail apocalypse, stores are going away, and that in fact has not happened. But certainly, as Steve mentioned, the connection between the online world, shopping from your phone to the physical store, that's changing, and they're becoming more personalized to each and every single one of the shoppers out there. The second is, of course, as we think about the future, are the people who work in stores. 85% retail workers work in physical stores. Retail is the largest private employer in the world. And let's be honest, I started my career working in a store. That there's a lot of things that store associates are doing that are just not very efficient. So I think productivity and taking the friction out of things like waiting in line at the cash wrap, that's going to go away. And then last but definitely not least, in thinking about the future of retail, is of course generative AI. Every customer I'm talking to right now is, AI in and of itself isn't new, but AI as a co-pilot to enable all the things I just spoke about, like personalized stores and automation of the workforce. We're going to see more and more of that. And I'm just so excited about the level of adoption that we're seeing in the retail space, focused on what the future of the industry looks like. So, Steve, maybe you could build on from a partner perspective, how you're seeing the future.
Yeah, let me type that into ChatGPT and see what it says. Look, Shelley, you hit it all right on the head. I think really, if you think about the trends, it's how are we leveraging technology to ease the issues that the labor force in these retailers have. Typically, the retail world relied on the younger generation, 18 to 25-year-olds, as their main source of labor. And that generation isn't so interested in working in retail anymore. So when they start to leverage technology, these retailers, they can start to ease some of the issues that they have around there. And I think when you layer on the fact that shoppers now want that e-commerce-like value in their brick and mortar experience, you start to understand that eliminating friction, not only in your labor force, but also in your shoppers, becomes really important. And we are really happy about that trend because the genesis of AiFi was around reducing friction in store through getting rid of the checkout lanes.
And clearly an exciting space to be in. Well, thank you both so much for your time today. I can't thank you enough taking the time to provide insight on the future of retail.
Jennifer, thanks so much. Shelley, it's always great to see you.
So good to see you, Steve, and thanks for moving us along, Jennifer, and getting to the heart of this great conversation.
Love it. Well, hey, folks, that's a wrap on another episode of the MPI Vodcast. I'm Jennifer Zarate.